Good evening, everybody. Well, evening for me, as it's Wednesday evening, Thursday morning for all of you. So, good morning to everybody out there. Moved everything inside tonight. A couple of reasons. One, there were people outside cutting down trees today, somewhere out in the distance, and I could hear chainsaws, so I didn't want to have you all trying to hear me over chainsaws. And so, second part is I've had a couple of people mention that it's still hard to hear. So I thought I'd bring it inside today and make sure everybody could hear me clearly. All right. So tonight we're going to go over part three, the final part, I promise, to the New World Order series. I'm going to go over the last 9 goals that the NWO has. Okay. Hope everybody's been paying attention because this is real. It's not some conspiracy theory. I posted the link to their doctrine yesterday on yesterday's video. I'll attach it to today's too. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay. So goal number 9, build a resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Okay. Who's going to pay for it all? Sure. We'd all like better roads and better bridges and better airports, but where's the money coming from? Yeah, it's that little problem again. Okay. We can do our $900 trillion tax bill and whatever we want to do, but the money's got to come from somewhere. Okay. The next question, where are we building these things? Remember, this is a global initiative. Okay. So they want to shove this down our throats. And again, like I said yesterday, where's the majority of the wealth in the world? In the United States and in Europe. Okay. So, are we going to use our tax dollars to build roads in, I don't know, Iran, North Korea, China? They're part of the global community. You know, Basically, they're telling us that because these countries can't figure out how to do it themselves, we need to do it for them. And last time I checked, the majority of people, at least in the United States, were against nation building, which is exactly what this would be. Okay. Goal number 10, reduce inequality within and amongst countries. Good. So when Somalia starts producing the same amount of goods and services as the United States, then we can be equal. Not until then. Okay. I know, look at the Minneapolis population, there's tons of Somalis that are coming to the United States. How many Americans are moving to Somalia? Wonder why? Okay. Goal number 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Sure, I can get behind this. I'm all for making cities safe. Problem is, what they're really promoting here is blue helmets running around enforcing laws. Now, I'm sorry, but making cities and neighborhoods safe starts at the local level. That means police, not federal or government blue helmets, brown shirts, whatever you want to call them. All right. I live in a rural area with the county sheriff's department. Okay. Are you telling me that the NWO seriously expects me to believe that I'm going to have any law enforcement around here under a global police force? You know, think about it. Oh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I mean, where's the nearest blue helmet? 50 miles away? Sure, by the time they get here, what's left? Okay. Inclusive. That's the other part. They want to make all this inclusive. Well, last time I checked, anyone can move anywhere they like in the United States, regardless of color, religion, orientation, heredity, whatever it would be. You're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever it was, gay, straight, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim. You can move anywhere within the 50 states you want to go. No problem. Nobody's going to tell you can't. So now, because this is a global initiative, tell me how they're going to make it so inclusive that a Christian, gay, black man wants to move somewhere in Iran. How's that going to go over? Okay. Anytime now. I'm waiting for the rebuttals on that one. Goal number 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. The breadline argument, basically. Sustainable consumption. Sure, I can see it now. Okay. The New World Order is going to tell each family that you're allowed 1 pound of meat, 1 gallon of milk, and 1 bag of oranges per week. That'll make it sustainable because that's what we have to give everybody in the world this. So you all have something equal and we can sustain everything. We'll decide how much everything gets because, that worked so well in the Soviet Union. Goal number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Okay, I went over this yesterday. Climate change is a complete hoax. I don't need to go into this any further. I completely debunked it yesterday. All right. Goal 14, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. So let me see. Back earlier this decade, the United States put regulations in place that nearly destroyed the lobster industry, the tuna industry, the shellfish industry. Did Russia or China do anything to sustainably fish? No, they were still just going at whatever they wanted to do. And the catch is they never will. It's a generational livelihood in some countries to go out and fish. Think of some of these families in coastal Japan. For centuries, families have been going out catching the fish and bringing it into a fish market. That's the family business and has been for hundreds of years. They're not going to change all of a sudden because somebody 3,000, 4,000 miles away says, nope, you can't fish anymore. Okay. The other part, how about the trash? Okay. You have a ton of Asian countries that throw their trash in the river, which flows down to the ocean, and you have these huge islands, if you will, of trash floating through the Pacific. And they wind up washing up on the west coast of the United States. I mean, there's organizations that all they do is go out and clean up the ocean after the trash that's thrown in there from these Asian countries. Are they going to stop doing that? No. Try enforcing them to stop doing it. They've done it for centuries. They're going to continue taking their trash down to the river, throw it in, that's going to flow down the river. Okay? Can't stop them. Goal number 15, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests. I'm sorry, I laugh every time I read that. Combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Okay, so we have all the wildfires burning in the western third of the United States right now because of complete mismanagement by forests, by these same elitists, and they're going to manage this on a worldwide scale? It's funny how you don't have all these wildfires in Norway or some of the other forested countries right now. They actually know how to manage their forests, okay? Or we know how to do it too. We just refuse to do it, okay? And look at South America. The governments in South America can't manage the rainforest. They've got people cutting down the rainforest so they can farm the land. But hey, let's just create another bureaucracy because that does so well at fixing things, right? Goal number 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Okay? So who should we use as the model here? Yemen? Portland? Seattle? Minneapolis? The Middle East? Are we abolishing the police or not? Okay, you see, the riots to abolish the police aren't just a U.S. thing. These are happening all over the world. And local governments are too cowardly to stop them. So what happens when it's a global government? Okay, we get into the situation, there's a riot going on in Seattle. Oh my God, what do we do? Well, call The Hague. We got to call police headquarters, but they're 9 hours difference. Well, call them in the morning. Oh, okay. Hey, rioters, can you please stop for about 9 hours here real quick? I don't know what to do, and I need to call my boss real quick to see if I'm authorized to stop you, but I can't call him for another 9 hours. So can we wait till, 9 hours from now when it's morning over in Europe? Thanks. Really? Okay, that's what we're going to do here? Basically, what they're talking about creating with this is worldwide martial law. That sounds like something out of Mein Kampf. Okay. Goal 17. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Global partnership. Yeah, because countries around the world work so well together right now. Israel's got such good relations with everybody else in the Middle East. Just like Iran has those great uh, relationships. You know, China and India get along famously. Russia, boy, they're just a model for the world and how well they get along with the rest of Europe. And Venezuela, boy, the rest of South America is just knocking down the door of Caracas to say, how do we make our country just like yours? Seriously? Okay. We're talking about global partnerships and revitalizing these partnerships. Which one do you want to pick? The great relationships between who? All right. You see, the New World Order is just a bunch of elitists who want to lay back and be fed grapes while the rest of us, the whole world population, scrambles for crumbs. Okay. Like I said earlier, this is an attempt to put us back in the dark ages with the two-class system. This is why prepping is so important, because the elitists have the means to implement this relatively easily. It goes back to Henry Kissinger's quote of, he who controls the food controls the people. Okay. If this was ever to be started, the first thing that would be done is food control. And we're already kind of seeing that now, okay? Everybody all over the internet, even on the news, you're hearing people say, I went to the store and I couldn't find this, or there were only 3 cans of this. God knows I've experienced it to find different things that I want to buy. I got to go to 4 or 5 different stores. And for me, that's not a convenient drive. It's half an hour one way, an hour another way. It's like, oh, I finally found everything I needed, okay? But food control is the fastest way to make the masses subservient. If you're hungry, or worse yet, your kids are hungry, okay, you'll do about anything to feed them, all right? Now think about that for a minute. That means you either bow down to the elitists and do whatever they tell you to do, or you become a marauder and you try to steal whatever you can. Now, most of us say, I don't want to bow down and I'm not going to be a marauder, okay? We've got morals. That's fine. But the same thing that I just said goes for your neighbor. What are they going to do? Are they going to bow down? Or are they going to try to steal? Guess who they're going to try to steal from? You. Okay? The whole New World Order ideal is a money/land/power grab. And the aforementioned leaders, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Rothschilds, the Bill Gates of the world, all these people, they're running the show. Okay? If this is ever implemented, it would inevitably lead to World War III. And it would be guerrilla warfare, not countries against each other. That's why it's so important to stock up on food, to learn to garden, to potentially raise livestock, to learn to hunt and fish, to learn to trap, because they're going to try to take everything that you have from you to serve the greater good. Okay? The one thing they can never take from you is your skills. Okay? If you know how to fish, they can't unplug that, part of your brain that now all of a sudden you don't know how to fish. But hopefully one of those skills that you have is using a firearm, because if this does ever go down, you're going to need that skill. All right. I'd implore everybody to share this video series with your family, with your friends. Okay. One thing all of us as preppers do have is an obligation to help each other out. Okay. That's why we all watch these videos, to gather information, to learn from other people. Do your best to enlighten the uninformed. Okay. If each one of us was able to get just one other person's head out of the sand, I'll say it politely, and start to understand why we all prep, maybe the community would get much bigger, and in turn, the world a little safer. After all, there is strength in numbers, and if the elites realize that there are way more people that will resist them than support them, maybe they'll finally go away, okay? Here's to praying the NWO never comes to fruition, but that's why we're preppers, okay? We prep for the worst and pray for the best, okay? That's what I got on the topic, guys. I love to hear everybody's comments. As you've probably seen, I read every one of them. I try to respond to as many as I can with some sort of comment. Some that are just, I like the comment or whatever, because I like all the comments. But that's what I got. If you want to continue the dialogue, please let me know. But other than that, have a great morning, everybody. Pinball out.